My parents sided with my brother after he betrayed me by sleeping with my wife. So I took the house, the inheritance, and left him in the ICU while they got cut out forever. I need to tell you about the house first, because that's where this whole thing started and ended. When my grandfather died 8 years ago, the estate had to liquidate. My parents could not afford to buy it outright, and my brother Desmond sure as hell was not in any position to help. I was the only one with decent credit and a stable income. So I stepped up, took out a mortgage, bought the place, kept it in the family like everyone wanted. Big Victorian-style property, 3 floors, enough space that my parents took the main level. Audrey and I had the upper floor, and Desmond crashed in the basement whenever he was between apartments, which was often. Restaurant manager wages do not exactly scream financial stability, but nobody talked about that. He was the fun one, the charismatic one, the golden child who could do no wrong. I was the responsible one. The guy who handled the finances, paid the property taxes, fixed the burst pipes at 2 a.m., and made sure the mortgage got paid on time every single month. Everyone treated it like communal property. Sunday dinners in the big dining room, holidays with the whole extended family, random cousins crashing on the couch during visits, the Hartley family home, right? Except my name was the only one on the deed. They all seemed to forget that part, especially Desmond. He would tell people he was going to inherit it someday, like it was some kind of birthright. My parents would smile and nod, already planning their retirement around staying put forever. I never corrected them. Why would I? They were family. 6 years into my marriage with Audrey, things were good. Or I thought they were. She ran her interior design business. I worked as an investment analyst downtown. We had our routines, our space, and our life. She would work late sometimes. I would work late sometimes. Normal married couple stuff. Then the small things started adding up. Audrey's phone habits changed. She would take calls in the other room, turn her screen away when I walked past. Nothing dramatic, just different. Then there were the late nights at client sites that seemed to stretch longer than they used to. I would come home and she would be getting ready to head out, or she would already be gone. What really got my attention was when I noticed Desmond's schedule matched hers. Family dinners he would normally show up for. Suddenly, he was busy. Same nights Audrey was working late. He would crash at a friend's place instead of coming home. She would text saying she was staying at a hotel near a project site because she was too tired to drive back. I am not an idiot, but I am also not the type to make accusations without proof. Last Tuesday, I was looking for our insurance paperwork in Audrey's car. She had taken mine to get serviced, and I needed to file a claim for some storm damage. Glove compartment, center console, nothing. Then I checked the side pocket of her driver's door. Hotel receipt. The Grand View in 2 towns over. Date from 3 weeks ago. One of those nights she said she was staying near a project. I checked my phone, went back through texts. That was the same night Desmond said he was crashing at a friend's place because he had had too much to drink after work. Something cold settled in my chest. I did not go through her phone. Did not need to. I sat in that car for maybe 20 minutes, holding that receipt, watching the date stamp blur in and out of focus. Then I put it back exactly where I found it, grabbed the insurance papers from under the passenger seat where they had been the whole time, and went back inside. That night at dinner, just the 4 of us, parents were visiting my aunt. I watched them. Really watched them. The way Audrey's eyes would flick to Desmond when she thought I was not looking. The way he would smirk at his phone and she would check hers right after. The way they both reached for the wine bottle at the same time, and their hands touched just for a second, and they both pulled back like they had been burned. I finished my pasta, poured myself another glass of wine, and I made a decision. Hey, I said, casual as anything. Let us do a family dinner this Sunday. Everyone here. Something I need to talk to everyone about. Audrey looked up. What about just some house stuff? Logistics. Nothing major, but I want everyone on the same page. My parents would be easy to gather. They lived here. Desmond had been making himself scarce lately, but he would show up for a family dinner. He always did. Sure, Audrey said. Her voice was a little too high. Sounds good. Desmond did not look up from his phone. Yeah, whatever. I can make it. But I saw it. The way his jaw tightened. The way his shoulders went stiff. I smiled. Great. Sunday at 6. I will grab some steaks. The way Desmond's jaw tightened when I said that told me everything I needed to know. And the way Audrey reached for her wine glass with shaking hands told me she knew I knew. Good. Let them sweat. Sunday came. I bought the steaks like I said I would. Expensive ones. Ribeyes from the butcher shop downtown. If I was going to blow up my family, I figured we might as well eat well first. My parents arrived at 5:30 like always. Mom brought a salad. Dad brought wine. Desmond showed up at 5:55, right before it would have been rude. Audrey had been home all day stressed cleaning the kitchen and checking her phone every 3 minutes. We sat down at 6:15. The big dining table, the one my grandfather built himself. Family heirloom. Everyone in their usual spots, Dad at the head, Mom to his right, Desmond across from me, Audrey beside me. I grilled the steaks. We made small talk. Weather, sports, mom's book club. Desmond was quiet, which was not like him. Audrey kept refilling her wine glass. My parents did not notice or pretended not to. I waited until dessert. Mom had brought pie, so I said, setting my fork down. I want to talk about what I mentioned. The house stuff. Dad perked up. Everything okay with the mortgage? Mortgage is fine. I looked at Audrey, then at Desmond. I want to talk about respect and family and what happens when people take advantage of generosity. The temperature in the room dropped about 20 degrees. What are you talking about? Mom asked. I kept my voice level. Calm. Audrey and Desmond have been sleeping together for months. Audrey's fork clattered onto her plate. Desmond went completely still. What? Dad started. I have hotel receipts. I continued. Matching schedules. Phone records I can subpoena if I need to, but I do not think I need to because neither of them is denying it right now. Audrey started crying. Not the pretty kind of crying, the ugly, gasping kind. It just happened, she said. We did not mean it was not supposed to. Was not supposed to what? I asked. Last this long get caught. Desmond finally looked up and you know what? He smiled. Actually smiled. Come on, man, what did you expect? You are always working, never around. Someone had to pay attention to her. I have been in a lot of tense situations in my life. Professional negotiations, hostile client meetings, the time I had to explain to my boss why a major investment went sideways. I have learned to keep my face neutral, my voice steady. This was different. This was my brother, the guy I had bailed out of credit card debt twice, who had co-signed an apartment lease for when he had no credit, who had lived in my basement rent-free for the last 4 months, telling me he had done me a favor by screwing my wife. Okay, I said. That is what I needed to hear. Everyone calm down. Mom's voice cut through the room. Let us not say things we will regret. Too late for that, I said. Dad stood up. This is a family matter. We handle this privately, rationally. I am being rational, Desmond. Mom turned to him, her voice gentler. What were you thinking? Mom, he started. And you? She looked at Audrey. This is unacceptable. For a second, I thought she got it that they understood. Then Mom looked back at me. But Desmond made a mistake. He is still your brother. You need to think about what is best for the family. I stared at her. What is best for the family? This house, Dad said, gesturing around us. This family, it is bigger than one incident. We have all made mistakes. One incident. You know what I mean? Do not overreact. Dad's voice had that edge to it. The one he used when he expected me to fall in line. Desmond screwed up. Audrey screwed up. But destroying the family over it. That is not who we are. Mom nodded. We can work through this. Get counseling. But you cannot you need to be the bigger person here. The bigger person. I looked at Desmond. He was watching me with this expression like he was calculating whether he had won or not. Like this was a game and he was waiting to see which way I jump. I looked at Audrey, still crying into her hands. I looked at my parents already positioning themselves as mediators, as if this was some minor family squabble that could be smoothed over with enough talking. You are right, I said. Everyone relaxed, just a fraction, but I saw it. You are absolutely right, I continued. I need time to think. It is a lot. I am going to stay at a hotel for a few days. Clear my head. Figure out how to move forward. That is very mature, Dad said, relief washing over his face. Mom reached across the table and squeezed my hand. You will see. Time heals everything. We are family. That is what matters. I nodded. Squeezed back. Yeah, family. Audrey looked up, hope flickering in her eyes. We can talk when you are ready. Sure, I said. When I am ready. Desmond leaned back in his chair. That smirk back on his face. Good to hear you are being reasonable about this, man. Reasonable. I stood up, started clearing plates. Normal, helpful me. I will pack a bag tonight, give everyone some space to process. I did the dishes. Said goodnight to my parents. Let Mom hug me at the door. You are doing the right thing, she whispered. Taking time to cool off. We will work through this together. I know, I said. I even hugged her back. What she did not know, what none of them knew was that I had pulled the property deed Friday afternoon. Spent my lunch break at the county recorder's office just to make absolutely sure I remembered correctly. The name on it was not family. It was not Hartley Estate. It was mine. Only mine. And by the time they figured that out, it would be way too late. Monday morning, I was sitting in Patricia Wolf's office at 9 a.m., sharp. She is a divorce attorney, the kind with a corner office and a reputation for leaving nothing on the table. I had done my research over the weekend. Walk me through it, she said, pen poised over her legal pad. I laid it out. 6-year marriage prenuptial agreement I had insisted on before the wedding. Audrey had signed it without much pushback. She was in love. I was practical. The prenup was airtight. Infidelity clause, asset protection, the works. She gets personal property, Patricia said, scanning the document I brought. Clothing, jewelry you gifted her. Her car. That is it. That is fine. You are sure about this? No reconciliation? I thought about Desmond's smirk about my mother telling me to be the bigger person while my brother sat there looking smug. I am sure. Good. I hate wasting time on people who are not serious. She made a note. I can have papers drafted by Wednesday, served by Friday. I need it faster, I said. Can you have them ready by end of day today? Served tomorrow morning. She looked up. That is aggressive. I am paying for aggressive. She smiled. I like you. Consider it done. My second meeting was at 11. Malcolm C., real estate attorney. His office was smaller, but his hourly rate was just as high. Tell me about the property, he said. Victorian, 3 floors. I bought it 8 years ago when my grandfather's estate sold it. The mortgage is in my name only. Title is in my name only. My parents live there. My wife lives there. My brother lives there. All as guests. No lease agreements, no rental contracts, nothing in writing. They pay you rent. No. Contribute to mortgage, taxes, utilities. My parents pay some utilities. That is it. Malcolm leaned back. So, legally, they are month-to-month tenants at will, or more accurately, licensees. You want them out? All of them. Any of them try to claim adverse possession or 8 years is not long enough in this state. And I have been living there the entire time maintaining ownership. They have no claim. He nodded, impressed. You have done your homework. I can draft notices. 30 days is standard. But given no lease and your primary resident status, we can argue for less if they contest. 30 days is fine. I want this clean. Serve same time as the divorce papers. Tomorrow morning, he whistled. Simultaneous nuclear strike. They have any idea this is coming? They think I am at a hotel cooling off. Jesus, he grinned. Okay, you will have everything by tonight. My last stop was the trust attorney. My grandmother on my mother's side had left a substantial trust 5 years ago. Nothing insane, but enough to be meaningful. Maybe 400,000 properly invested. She had wanted someone financially responsible to manage it. That someone was me, executor and trustee with full discretionary power over distributions. My parents were named as beneficiaries. So was Desmond. They had been counting on that money for years. Retirement cushion, emergency fund, the financial security blanket they had never bothered to build themselves. I want them removed, he told Gerald Hobbs, the estate attorney who had handled my grandmother's will. He did not even blink. You have that authority as trustee. Any particular reason? Family dispute. They made their choice. This is mine. I will need it in writing. Letter of intent. Formal notification to the removed beneficiaries. How fast? I can have the amendments drafted today. Filed with the court by Wednesday. Beneficiaries will receive formal notification by end of week. Do it. The paperwork was ready by 7 p.m. I sat in my hotel room, decent place, nothing fancy, and signed everything. Divorce petition. Eviction notices. Trust amendments, 47 pages total. The complete dismantling of everything they had taken for granted. My phone buzzed. Text from Desmond. Mom says, "You are doing better. Good to hear, man. Take your time." I stared at that text for a long time. The casual tone, the assumption that I was processing, healing, coming around to accepting what they had done. They actually thought I was going to forgive them. They thought family meant I would swallow anything. They thought the house they had been living in was theirs by right. They thought the money my grandmother left was theirs by default. They thought wrong. I texted back, "Yeah, getting some clarity. See you soon." Then I forwarded all the signed documents to my attorneys. Friday evening, I had discovered the hotel receipt. Sunday, I had confronted them. Monday, I built the legal framework. By Tuesday afternoon, 3 different process servers were scheduled. One for Audrey at her design studio at 10 a.m. One for Desmond at the restaurant where he worked at 11 a.m. And one for my parents at the house, my house at noon. The timing was deliberate. I wanted them each to get hit separately to have that moment of individual realization before they could circle the wagons and coordinate a response. Patricia called Tuesday at 8 a.m. Servers are confirmed and dispatched by 1 p.m. This thing is live. Good. Your phone is going to blow up. I know. You seem very calm about this. I am calm, I said, and I was for the first time in weeks, maybe months. I felt completely clear. No anger, no sadness, just the cold precision of someone who had run the numbers and knew exactly what the outcome would be. One more thing. Patricia said the prenup has a 30-day waiting period before asset transfer. Your wife could theoretically challenge. She will not. She does not have the money for a prolonged legal fight, and her case has no merit. She knows it still. Be prepared for my phone started buzzing. Then ringing multiple calls, rapid fire. I looked at the screen. Audrey. Mom, unknown number. Probably the house landline. Desmond. It was 10:34 a.m. They knew I have to go. I told Patricia. Do not answer. I hung up, watched my phone light up like a Christmas tree. 15 calls in 3 minutes. Then the voicemail started. Then the texts. I let it all pile up, turned off the sound, set the phone face down on the hotel desk. Then I opened my laptop and started looking at renovation contractors if I was keeping the house. And I was. I wanted every trace of family home erased. New paint, new furniture, complete reset. My phone kept buzzing silently against the desk. Let them panic. Let them scramble. Let them finally understand what it felt like to have the ground disappear beneath your feet. Monday morning, 3 different process servers knocked on 3 different doors. Audrey got hers at her studio. Desmond got his at the restaurant. Mom and Dad got theirs at breakfast. I was at my lawyer's office signing the final transfer documents for the trust. When my phone started ringing, I let it go to voicemail. All 15 calls. I did not answer my phone for 48 hours. Audrey called 23 times the first day. My mother called 18. Desmond left 7 voicemails, each one progressively more aggressive. Dad tried the reasonable approach with texts. We need to talk about this. Call me. I did not. Wednesday afternoon, I finally listened to the voicemails. Not because I cared what they had to say, but because I wanted to hear the progression. The moment they realized what was happening, Audrey's first message, sobbing, barely coherent. Please. We need to talk. The papers say. I do not understand. Please call me. Mom's confusion turning to panic. Honey. There has been some kind of mistake. We got a notice about the house. Call us immediately. Desmond's anger from the start. What the hell is this eviction BS? Call me back right now. By Wednesday, the trust letters had arrived. That is when the tone changed. Mom's message from Wednesday evening. How could you do this? That was your grandmother's money for the whole family. You cannot just. We need to talk. Please, Desmond's. You are really doing this over a mistake. You are that petty? Jesus Christ. Man. Dads. I am very disappointed in you. This is not how we handle family problems. Your mother is extremely upset. I deleted them all. Thursday morning, they showed up at the hotel. I was on my second coffee reviewing contractor bids when I heard the knock. Then the voices. We know you are in there. Dad's voice trying to sound authoritative. I walked to the door, did not open it. What do you want? We want to talk face to face. Mom said like adults. We are talking now. Open the door. Dad demanded. No. Silence. Then Mom again, softer. Sweetheart, please. Let us work this out. We are family. You had a chance to act like family, I said through the door. Sunday night, you chose to protect him instead. He is your brother and she was my wife and you told me to be the bigger person. So I am removing myself from the situation entirely. You cannot just throw us out of our home. Dad's voice rose. It is not your home. It is my house. You have been living there as guests. Now you are not. We raised you in that house. Mom was crying now. No, you raised me in Grandpa's house. Then he died and I bought it. Big difference. This is insane. Dad said. You cannot just. The trust money that was supposed to be for all of us. It was supposed to be distributed at my discretion. I am exercising discretion. You are being cruel? Mom said. I almost laughed. I am being cruel. Desmond screwed my wife in my house and you defended him. But I am the cruel one. It is not that simple. Actually, it is. You made your choice. I am making mine. You have 30 days. I suggest you start packing. I walked away from the door. Heard them talking in urgent whispers. Then footsteps retreating. Friday evening. I was getting dinner from the vending machine, living that quality hotel life when Desmond showed up. I heard him before I saw him. Loud voice at the front desk, slurring. Which room? Just tell me which room. The desk clerk was saying something about guest privacy. Desmond got louder. I walked into the lobby. I am right here. He spun around. Drunk. Definitely drunk. His eyes were bloodshot, shirt untucked. That aggressive stance he got when he had had too much. You smug B-word, he said, walking toward me. You need to leave. Leave? You are kicking me out of my house, and you want me to leave? It was never your house. Grandpa's house, which I bought with my money, my mortgage, my name on the deed. He got in my face. I could smell the whiskey. You think you are so much better than everyone. Always have. Perfect job, perfect life. Looking down on the rest of us. I am not doing this here. I said. Yeah. You are. He shoved me. Not hard. But enough. You are going to listen to me for once. The desk clerk had already hit the silent alarm. Hotel security. Two guys, both bigger than Desmond, arrived within 30 seconds. Sir, you need to leave the property. I am talking to my brother now, sir. Desmond tried to push past them. Bad move. They had him in a compliance hold before he could throw a punch. Walked him out the front doors while he screamed threats over his shoulder. I gave my statement to the local police when they arrived. Filed a formal complaint. The officer gave me the paperwork for a restraining order. Given his behavior and your ongoing legal dispute, the officer said, I would recommend filing. Better safe than sorry. I filed it Saturday morning. The next 28 days were quiet. My lawyers handled communication. The family group chat, which I had muted, apparently exploded. Cousins, aunts, uncles, all weighing in. I heard about it secondhand from my one cousin who had texted me privately. I do not know the whole story, but your parents are telling everyone you have lost your mind. Let them talk. Day 30 arrived on a Thursday. I had already scheduled movers, changed the locks, had the security system updated with new codes. My lawyer confirmed the property was clear. They had moved out by day 29, probably hoping I would change my mind at the last second. I did not. 4 p.m. I pulled into the driveway with my first load of boxes. The house looked different already. Emptier, but cleaner. They had taken their furniture, their pictures, their clutter, good. Made the renovation easier. I was unloading boxes from my trunk when I heard it. The sound of tires on gravel too fast. Desmond's truck screeched into the driveway behind me, blocking me in. He got out, stumbling, and I could smell the whiskey from 15 away. You actually did it, he said. His voice was rough, dangerous. You actually took everything. I straightened up slowly. You need to leave. You are violating a restraining order. Restraining order, he laughed, bitter and sharp. You think a piece of paper stops me from getting what is mine? Nothing here is yours. This house, he gestured wildly. This was supposed to be mine. Grandpa always said. Grandpa is dead. And he left it to the estate which sold it to me. Desmond took a step forward. I could see it in his eyes. He was past talking. Past reasoning. You stole my future. He said. I stayed calm. Kept my voice level. No. I built my future. You were too busy screwing my wife to build your own. That is when he came at me. The first punch came fast, sloppy, but fast. Desmond always led with his right when he was drunk. I had seen him in enough bar fights growing up to know his tells. I sidestepped. His fist sailed past my shoulder and his momentum carried him forward. He stumbled, caught himself on my car. Walk away, I said. Last chance. He spun back around. You do not get to tell me what to do anymore. He came at me again. This time I was ready. I have been going to Knockout Fitness for 3 years. Boxing and basic MMA, mostly for stress relief and cardio. Desmond had been drinking his way through restaurant shifts and sleeping with my wife. Different training regimens, different outcomes. I caught his arm, redirected, let his own force take him off balance. He hit the driveway hard. Concrete is not forgiving. Stay down. I said he did not. Got up, breathing hard, and I saw the moment rational thought left completely. He looked around, eyes wild, and spotted my garage. The side door was open. I had been in there earlier, had not closed it yet. He went for it. Desmond, do not. He came back out with my garden rake. Metal one, heavy, 4 feet long. You want to take everything from me? He was breathing hard, gripping the rake like a baseball bat. I will take something from you. He swung. I ducked. The rake whistled over my head and slammed into my car window. Glass exploded. Mrs. Patterson from next door screamed. I heard her. I am calling the police. Desmond swung again. I moved inside his reach, grabbed the rake handle, twisted. He held on. We struggled for it, grappling, and I could hear him breathing, smell the alcohol sweating out of him. Let go, he shouted. I yanked hard. He lost his grip. The momentum sent him backward, and the rake came with me. I threw it toward the lawn, away from both of us. He charged. No weapon, just rage. Caught me in the ribs with his shoulder, and we both went down. He got one punch in, caught my jaw, snapped my head to the side. Then I got my knee up, pushed him off, and we were both scrambling to our feet. Desmond, stop. He grabbed for the rake again, got his hands on it, raised it over his head like an axe, and that is when I stopped pulling punches. I stepped in, drove my fist into his solar plexus. All the air went out of him in one sound. The rake fell. He doubled over, and I swept his legs. He went down hard. The second time he had hit concrete, but this time he landed wrong. I heard the crack. He screamed, rolled onto his side, cradling his arm. The forearm was bent at an angle that was not natural. Do not move. I said. You broke something. You broke my arm. You came at me with a weapon. Stay down. He tried to get up anyway. Got to his knees, arm dangling, and I saw the moment the adrenaline could not cover the pain anymore. His face went white. He swayed. Then he collapsed. Sirens were already approaching. Mrs. Patterson had called it in immediately. The ambulance arrived first, then 2 squad cars. The paramedics went to work on Desmond. Broken arm, at least 2 broken ribs. Possible concussion from when he had hit the driveway. They had him on a backboard within minutes. He is going into shock. One of them said, "We need to move." The police separated us. Took my statement. Took statements from Mrs. Patterson and the Kowalskis across the street. They had both seen the whole thing. He came at you with a rake. The officer asked, "Yes, after you told him to leave multiple times and you have a restraining order against him filed last week. Should be in the system." The officer checked his computer. Nodded. "It is. He is not supposed to be within 500 feet of you." "I know. They reviewed my security cameras. I had them installed Wednesday. 4 angles covering the entire driveway and front yard. Crystal clear footage of Desmond arriving, threatening me, grabbing the rake, swinging at me. This is pretty clear self-defense," the officer said. "He is going to face charges for physical attack with a weapon and violating a restraining order." "I want to press charges," I said. "Full extent," he nodded. "Given the circumstances, I do not blame you." The ambulance left, lights and sirens. Desmond was gone. I was still standing in my driveway, jaw throbbing, knuckles starting to swell. The police finished their report and left. Mrs. Patterson brought me ice wrapped in a towel. "Are you all right, dear?" "I am fine. Thank you. Your brother, he has always been troubled, has not he?" I did not answer that. I went inside my house, and poured bourbon. The good stuff. The bottle I had been saving, seemed like the right time. My phone started ringing again around 7 p.m. The hospital must have called my parents. Mom's voice on the message was hysteria. "Desmond is in the ICU. They said you attacked him. How could you? He is your brother. Oh God. They do not know if there is internal bleeding. Delete. Dads. You have gone too far. This is physical attack. I am calling our lawyer. You cannot just delete Audrey's." Surprisingly, I heard what happened. "Are you okay?" I stared at the phone. She did not ask about Desmond. She asked about me. Too little. Too late. Delete. By 9 p.m. I had 12 more messages. Extended family. Flying monkeys sent to tell me what a monster I was. How I destroyed everything. How Desmond might have permanent damage. I saved one. Just one. Mom's final call of the night. 2 a.m. Her voice raw. They said he might have permanent nerve damage in his arm. Said he might not regain full use. Said the head injury. The running tests. This is your fault. All of it. We will never forgive you for this. Never. I saved it not because I cared what she thought, but because I wanted to remember the exact moment they finally understood. I was not their safety net anymore. I was not their mediator, their fixer, or their reliable son who cleaned up messes and paid the bills and kept the family together. I was the man who owned everything they thought they could use against me, and I was not giving any of it back. 6 months later, I am writing this from my living room. The one that used to be the family room, but is now just mine. New furniture, new paint, deep charcoal gray instead of that beige my mother insisted was classic. The Victorian architecture is still there, but everything else has been stripped away and rebuilt. Kind of like me, I guess. Let me tell you where everyone ended up. Desmond pleaded guilty to physical attack with a deadly weapon. The rake counted, apparently. His public defender tried to argue temporary insanity, family dispute, mitigating circumstances. The prosecutor had security camera footage and 3 witness statements. The plea deal was probation, 500 hours of community service, mandatory anger management, and restitution for my car window. The medical bills, though, those buried him. His restaurant's insurance did not cover off-duty incidents. He had let his personal insurance lapse 6 months earlier. $73,000 for the ICU stay, surgery on his arm, follow-up care. He declared bankruptcy in month 3, lost his restaurant management job after the arrest. Cannot work around alcohol with a probation requirement. Last I heard through mutual acquaintances, he is working at a big box hardware store. Loading dock mostly. The arm healed, but he has got limited mobility. Permanent nerve damage. Just like the doctors warned, he walks with a slight limp from the ribs that did not set quite right. Lifetime of consequences. That is what I told him he would have. I was not exaggerating. Audrey's divorce finalized in month 4. The prenup held up perfectly. Patricia knew what she was doing. Audrey got her personal items, her car, and about $3,000 from a joint checking account we had maintained for household expenses. That is it. Her design business collapsed. Turns out most of her clients came through my professional network, finance guys, investment contacts, people who hired her because she was my wife. Once word got around about why we divorced, those connections evaporated. She moved back to her parents' place 2 states over. I heard she tried to reconnect with Desmond around month 2. Guess she thought they would ride off into the sunset together or something. He told her to go to hell. Blamed her for ruining his life. Cannot make this stuff up. My parents found a 1-bedroom apartment across town. Smaller place, older building, nothing like the house they had gotten used to. Dad's pension covers rent, but not much else. Mom had to go back to part-time work at 64 years old. Retail, ironically. Maybe she sees Desmond at work sometimes. I would not know. They tried reaching out. Texts, emails, calls from unknown numbers. I blocked everything. Changed my number in month 3 just to be sure. Month 5. Dad got through using someone else's phone. I picked up by accident. Your mother's in the hospital, he said. No greeting, just that. Heart problems, stress-induced. The doctors say, I am sorry to hear that, I said. And I was in the abstract way. You are sorry when you hear anyone is having health problems. This is your fault. No, I said this is your fault. You chose to protect the person who betrayed me. You told me to think about family while defending someone who destroyed mine. That is on you. We are still your parents. You were my parents. Now you are just people I used to know. I hope Mom recovers, but I am not coming to visit and I am not changing my mind. Goodbye. I hung up. Block that number too. People ask if I feel guilty. If I lie awake at night thinking about it, I do not. I sleep better now than I have in years. I do not wake up wondering who is using me. I do not get calls demanding I fix someone else's problems. I do not attend dinners where I am expected to be grateful for being disrespected. I am dating again. Her name is Vanessa. She is an accountant at a different firm. Met her at a networking event. We are taking it slow. She knows the whole story. On our 3rd date, I laid it all out. Figured she deserved to know what she was getting into. Good, she said. Anyone who would put up with that is not someone I would want to date anyway. Yeah, I like her. Work is going well. Got promoted, actually. Turns out, when you are not constantly managing family drama, you have more mental energy for your career. Who knew? I have reconnected with friends I had neglected. Started playing basketball again on Sundays. Took a trip to Colorado last month. Just packed a bag and went. No one to check with. No one to ask permission from. The house is mine. Quiet, peaceful, exactly what I need. Some people will say I went too far. That family should forgive. That blood is thicker than water. But here is the thing. Forgiveness does not mean staying. It does not mean giving people more chances to hurt you. It does not mean lighting yourself on fire to keep them warm. They thought family meant I would tolerate anything. Thought I needed them more than they needed me. Thought I would always be the responsible one who cleaned up messes and paid bills and held everything together no matter what. They were wrong. I did not destroy the family. They did. I just refused to go down with them. They chose him. I chose finality and I walked away owning everything they thought they could use against me. No regrets, no looking back. Just me, my house, and the peace that comes from cutting out the rot before it spreads. Family first? Sure. But I am my family now, and I am doing just fine. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe.